Hey everybody, Scroft here, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our Let's Play series called Tales of the Highlands. So, we are now in December. Last episode I did say I was going to jump forward. A lot's happened, we've had some ups, we've had some downs, so we best go through them and get you up to date on what's gone on. Let's start off with the animals. In fact, I'll run over, got super speed on, we'll run over to each animal pen. We'll start with the dairy cows because it's the most important. Now, what's basically happening here, if we look at the messages, we've had finally some calves. So that means we are now milking, the dairy stock on milking. All four of them had one calf each, pretty straightforward. And one of them was the one I mentioned I want to test to try and get information on the lactating period. So, you know, because it's going to be important to know how long these cows lactate. So I decided to do that, but I've changed it up a bit. I've got two now. And if we have a look here, this one is lactating. I've named it basically lact test and not pregnant, and it started on November day 3. So that's when it started lactating. Now, the reason I've called it not pregnant is because basically as soon as it says, you know, it's available to calf again or getting calf again, it's still going to lactate. I have noticed that some of them, that when you're getting impregnated for a second time, let's say, they're still lactating for a certain period of time. So I want to test if that has an impact as well. So I've got two this time. We got one that's called L test, so lactating test, pregnant, and it started at the same time, which is November day 3. Just gives me an idea of when it started lactating to know how many months it lactates for. But we're going to make this one pregnant as soon as it's available to get back into calf. This one, though, we're not going to do that with. So as soon, we're just going to keep it going until it stops lactating, and then we can put it in calf just to see if that has an impact on how long, it lactates for. Because, like, really, in the real world of farming, they do have a period where they're, having a rest basically in between. They also have a period before they actually give birth where they're dry. So I don't know how it works. I know Arrow likes to really focus on realism. So we'll just have to wait and see basically and just test it out. And that's pretty much all that's happened with the dairy stock. We've got some that are still in calf but are very close. We've got two here that are 93. Well, in fact, there's three there that are 93%. So we've got a few calves. We've got 6 dry that's a couple of months away from going into calf. Through AI, I actually think we've got nitros at the moment, haven't we? So we've got so many straws. We could get some more at some point, depending on how many we've got. In fact, how many have we got? Let's just go to this one. We got 11 left, so we should at some point buy some more of them, but we'll, for now we're all right. But that's pretty much the dairy stock. So let's speed our way down here to, oh no, I'm stuck in the bloody fence. Not what I wanted to do. Yeah, let's move down to the beef stock because they've also been quite busy, mainly consuming a hell of a lot of food, really. But if we have a look here, you can see just a few more births, a few more. This one was crazy a while ago, which had 3 babies or 3 calves. That's insane for a cow, but it survived. Somehow it survived. So the ones that I've marked up are in calf. There's a few, like this one, like not long, 15%, 73. There's a few that are close again, especially this one at 93%. And then what's happened is these two that are still lactating, this will give you a good example of what I was on about. These two are still lactating. Current, like this one, basically that says recovering from last calf, and it's lactating. But these have gone into calf again. So they've been impregnated by the bull that we've got over here. These two, so they're on to their second round now since we've been playing on the save game of having a calf, but they are lactating. So everything's going, everything with this is kind of just going naturally because we don't do AI. We've got a bull that's working pretty well. Some point that'll, cause a problem because of the calves we're having. Can't breed with this one because it's got, if we have a look, it's got all these here. All these calves are its offspring. So all them calves, when they get to age, if the female, obviously, will need another bull for. And it can't be a brother or sister, I'm pretty certain of it. So, yeah, that's just kind of flowing through. We will talk about this section probably at the end of the episode because I'm thinking of buying something up for it. From what Oz has been saying, he has decided to maybe try and put in the grants, the idea I had about, making grants for like calf building, but not quite the way I originally kind of thought, I think he wants to go more in depth, which is amazing, to be honest. I didn't, you don't like to ask for a lot from modders because of the fact it already takes a lot of work. So if they do something, it's just a bonus. But from the sounds of it, he wants to make it so it's not so rewarding. You don't just get it easy, and you have to earn it through the mod and playing through the mod first. And yeah, we'll have to just see how that works out. So I'm not going to wait for that because I do need a calf shed or a cow shed basically sooner. So we are going to place that down, and we're going to eat away at some of our income that we're going to get from the selling the grain in this episode, or else we're going to have a big tax bill. And I can't keep using tyres for a tax write-off that I'm putting on the bunker, which you'll see in a second because it's crazy. Now, I've got one other thing to show you. I'm just going to keep using super speed for this because I want to fly through it. But it's to do with the sheep that we're pretty much just leaving out now in the field. They get a bit of grub. They're quite happy. I have needed to keep putting bales in. For some reason, I'm not getting meadow grass come through, so that's a pain. But, it doesn't matter too much. We'll just have to make some hay, hopefully. Hay's going to run out, though, so I don't know what we're going to do there, but we can figure it out. So the only problem I've got with this is I've got one lamb, unfortunately, 2-month-old lamb, that's got a disease. So if I show you here, you can see that it's contracted foot and mouth. Now, foot and mouth to me is deadly. Like, that's the way I've known it. Most, if not all, animals just get culled out. I'm sure of it. But for some reason, you don't have an option to cull. Maybe it's something that Arrow can introduce into the game for things like this, or maybe it's a bad animal that's got some really bad genetics. I mean, you can always go and sell it, and it probably makes more sense to do that in the game because you get money. But really, you probably want to cull these out. I know it's harsh, but it is the reality of farming. So yeah, this one's is strange, but I've given it its treatment, and you can see that it hasn't died. It hasn't passed. It hasn't. Let's just say it hasn't died, has it? It's still alive, and I've paid 250. I think there's a 3-month cycle on it. So if I go to this, then press disease, you can see it's duration for 3 months, and it's £250 a month, so 750. Now I expect, like last time, after 2 months, it dies. Like that's what happened last time. I got this in the game. It was with a calf, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got a feeling it's just going to die, and we've given its treatment, which probably hopefully stops the spread of it. I think that if it's that, then that makes sense. But we'll just keep an eye on it. It's still in with the flock, and let's hope that it doesn't go crazy and spread around. Because last time with that calf, I put it in a different shed straight away, so it could be something that helped me. I'm not sure. I'd have to just check. So that's pretty much the update there. Let's have a look at quickly just look at the red tape mod, because I've had a bit of bad luck with the red tape mod, and I'm not even going to try and explain it because it's quite confusing. But it's to do with the manure management. I should currently be at tier C, in my opinion. I actually got minus 100 points and a £5,000 fine from the manure management. And it's really strange because I'm going off this kind of report that comes in every month. Now, I know that every May and November is like a 6-month evaluation, and it gives you either a fine or some points. I don't know if it gives you a reward. I don't know. It could do. I imagine it does. But I actually got a fine. Now, I was well over the expected manure spread. So this section here. And the way it works is it looks at the rolling average through all the kind of areas where muck's being stored, and then it's a percentage of that, like half. So I need to spread 9,700 litres basically in a 6-month period. That's the way I see it. So when this actual manure spread's higher than this one, you should be fine. And it was every month that I started to see these reports. So then when I got into like October, I saw it and it was all fine. And I jumped into the month of November. After this, in the time when we start getting the information, if I have a look, you can see that I've got there minus 100 points and a £5,000 fine. So I give all the information to Oz, and he's having a look at it. And I think what's happened is it needs to be a bit more clearer, he says, with the way it's presenting this information. So it's going to give you each month like a rolling 6 months, because I think it was showing me I was fine because it's rolling 6 months, but actually it's like, to be honest, I'm not even going to try to explain it. He's explaining it to me. I kind of understand it, but I don't want to get it wrong. All I know is he's going to look at it and probably get that sorted out so that doesn't happen. Because as a player, you rely on this information. So we need the information that shows us that there's something there that means I'm not okay. Like now, I know I'm not okay because I haven't spread anything. But if I spread once, I'm going to be well over the 9,000. And really, I shouldn't need to spread then again. I would say even till the next evaluation, which is May, because I'm going to be well above that expected. Well above, because I've got probably about 20,000, 40,000 sitting in ready to spread. So if I just make sure I spread it and don't let it build up, we should be fine. Apart from that, everything else actually works really well. Even the animal spacing, you can see the beef shed's not horrendous. It's getting lower, don't get me wrong, but it's not horrendous. And, soon we're going to have another beef shed anyway to sort that out. Animal feed was fine. No slurry violations. We currently are in the window where we can't spread any slurry, so make sure, we don't do that. We're just doing muck. Sustainable forestry. I did get minus 10 points for that because I cut 2 trees, but we're going to look at that right now because I've got a solution for it that I actually think is pretty cool and ties in really well with this mod. So I wanted to showcase that as a mod you can get and recommend getting if you are using the red tape mod when it drops. I mean, that issue I had with the manure management is just a really good reminder of why I'm testing and how testing helps, because hopefully stuff like that won't happen. Because I was looking forward to getting to TSC, and then I got like minus 100 points, and I was like, what's going on here? So hopefully things like that won't happen going forward. All these are just fine. Nothing else to say about that. I did get paid, though. We did get some money for the natural grazing. Got 587 because I let the cows in the dairy stock graze, and then we had some calves, and I decided, no, we'll start giving them TMR now so we get the maximum amount of milk. And also the reduced bale wrapping, we did get paid for that. So if I go to the event log, you'll see somewhere, just trying to see where it is now. I definitely got paid like, I think it must have been around, there you go. So 1,800 and 1,900. That's for the 2 fields that we decided to pick up the silage for, which is now fermented. And I've got a load of tyres on there. The reason I've got tyres on there is because it just amazed me, this mod, and I wanted to know if I could get it on the backside of the bunker, which I did. I know they're 250 quid a pop, but you can sell them and get your 250 quid back. So if anything, it's just like a little savings account with tyres, and it's a tax write-off as well, so I'm not complaining. I just like that mod. I think it's a really nice touch to the mod as well. So that's pretty much the red tape update and the update and the update on the animals. So we're up to date there, the most important bit. That we're going to look at in a second, but first, what I want to look at is the tree. This tree in particular. I want to chop it down because I want to place down a shed over here, and that tree needs to go. But the problem is I'm getting fined, aren't I? I'm like -3. So I decided to put in a mod by GTX, who is awesome. He's the same guy who makes Easy Dev. He's got one on Mod Hub currently. You can plant by hand saplings. So I bought myself some of the new trees that we've got on the Highlands DLC, which is these spruce trees that look really good. So I've got spruce trees there, and then we've got this one, which is a Scotch pine. And then there's a shed you can place down. It's only like £3,000, and I thought, well, worth it. We can put a few spray cans there to mark the trees. We've got our chainsaw there as well, so we should probably take that, actually, because we're going to need it. But then over here, you've got 2 bags, and behind the actual saplings is a shovel. Now, I know that's the spruce. So if I pick up the shovel, you'll see that this has now appeared, and we can start planting some spruce trees. So I'm going to plant one just over here, because we need to plant at least 3, don't we, to kind of be even. And I think if you're doing this and using the red tape mod, this mod is the place. Yeah, this is just the way to do it. So let's just plant this here. We've got 9 more left in our backpack. You can see in the bottom right, that's what it's currently saying. So let's go plant 2 more. I might plant them down in that section over here. And then it gives us room to remove that tree there, which is the most important thing here. So let's just plant one here. There we go. And we can see these just grow, can't we? Naturally. A couple of spruce trees. And if we do decide to take any more down in the future, we've got them on hand, haven't we, to do that. So pretty cool. So all I need to do then is just go up to here, take out the equipment, and then just place it back on the wall and we can shut that door. And it's a nice place for us to store anything logging wise, and I've got plenty of saplings. So now when it does the update, because you've got to remember it won't be straight away, when it updates it'll show that we've planted 3 trees but cut an extra one, so we should be even, and then we don't have to worry about getting any minus points anymore from that. So that's the aim with that. Let me just quickly, because I always forget to do this, but no, we want to turn the running multiplier off. That's it. So yeah, let's take this tree down. Let's take it down. I mean, I'm going to need to find a way. I'm going to have to chop it up and move it by hand because I've got nothing to do that with. Logging's not been really a main focus of mine to do in this series yet. You never know. I might get some proper logging done at some point, but for now, I'm quite happy with this. So let's get rid of the tree trunk. I might actually be able to carry this because it is a small one, isn't it? So why are you not tagging somewhere? What's going on here? Very strange. There we go. That'll do me. Oh, there we go. Right. I can pick that up. So there we go. We're lucky. We can pick it up. But that means the tree's out the way at least. And yeah, when we build the shed, it's not going to be an issue. I was just mainly worried because it's going to pick up the fact that I've chopped a tree down. I'm going to be like -3. Now, I know before... Let me just show you this. I know before it calculated that I chopped 2 trees down, but I didn't actually chop any trees down, really. I chopped 2 branches. So I reported that to Oz, and with the help of Loki, so a massive shout out to Loki there, he helped Oz and got it so it doesn't do that anymore. It's actually just a tree. So if you chop down a tree, but then chop all its branches, you know, it's not going to notice that that's like 10 trees when it's just 1 in its branches. So that's a really good and useful thing that's been added there. So shout out to Loki for helping Oz out. So we don't have to worry about that. Technically now we should be like neutral. 3 and 3. 3 chopped down, even though technically them 2 weren't even 1. But it calculated it, and while we're testing, we're just going to have to deal with that. But yeah, it's 3 and 3, so we're all good. Right, we got 2 things to do. 2 things. We need to do some feed mixes. We need some for the dairy stock, and we need some for the beef stock. Now, I haven't opened the clamp yet because we've got enough bales. I'm popping in 2 at a time and then 1 hay bale, and that's kind of doing the job. So I'm just going to go carry on. I'm going to get these bales, do some feed mixing, which you don't actually see me do often because I normally kind of do it. I normally do it in between episodes to set up, but I wanted to show you because, you know, it is a thing that I'm doing behind the scenes. It's just, you know, you've seen it a million times, and yeah, it's not like the most exciting thing in the world, but it is part of FS. So let's yeah, let's just carry on, and yeah, we may as well play the game properly, eh? So we're gonna need 2 silage bales. I mean, we are running low on silage bales, just like we are hay. Luckily, we've got plenty of silage in the bunker, so it doesn't matter too much about the silage bales. And we are going for that style of farming, aren't we? Because of the you know, the policy that we've accepted. You don't have to accept that policy. Sorry, that scheme. But we have. So because of that, we're going to go and do that kind of style. That's what we signed up to, basically. Bloody hellfire. There we go. So let's turn the mixer on. We'll go and get 2 silage bales to mix in with this. We'll just move this forward a touch. We'll start with the dairy because we're here, and then we can just go drive down. Hey, oh, you got out. What are you doing? You got a cow out. The floating on that nav mesh is so annoying, but there's nothing you can do. It's a Giants issue, unfortunately. Go 2 at a time. I mean, at some point I'm going to change this old JCB up. I'm going to get myself a nice loader. I did mention previously to get the one that Mark Thor brought over for me from the farmhand in 22. But I don't know. We'll have to see where we're at for money. I mean, it's a better option than this, I'd say, because of the fact it's more... I find it's more easy to... It's more mobile, isn't it, really? And, yeah. Much easier to do. Let's go and get the 2 salvage bales first before we get the hay bale. So the next and final job for this episode is going to be to sell all the grain, and we're going to see where we're at money-wise to then, yeah, decide if we're going to be, well, basically if we're going to be building a car shed and still keeping a profit, because we're going to have to pay the taxman if not. And, well, to be honest, we might not, because it's April, isn't it, when it's going to be calculated, so... Yeah, it's not like it's... Basically, we could spend the profit from now until April easily. But we will have a payday in September, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But let's figure out first where the best place to sell. The price has been completely different to what it said. It actually says 538 is the highest, but then I've got like 600 odd, so I don't know what's going on there. But I'm not complaining because it's more. So I think best place to sell... Because we're not going to go and get a train. There's no point in doing that for an extra £2. We may as well go to this Logistic Centre East. So we'll tag that. And then let's go to the map so we can have a quick idea where that is. That's actually not a far drive at all. So just up here and happy days. So we'll use 2 trailers actually for this. Let's get the other New Holland hooked up to the Massey trailer, and we can use a bit of follow me and do two in one go here. We may as well. I mean, 60,000, it'll make half the work of it if we do that, and probably about 3 trips maximum. Maybe, something like that. I mean, probably not even that. We'll have to see how much we're putting in. But we'll get it sorted and we'll get it sold, and then we'll have a good look at where we're at money-wise. I'm gonna love and live and kill and fight with my whole heart till death do us part. There was a man who ran that whole damn town. He thought he owned her and that they'd settle down. Took her back with a Colt 44. I loaded up and rode out into the night. Took out his men and by the dawn's early light left a blood trail up to his porch. Held my breath and I kicked down the door. Down on his knees, he was begging for his life. She looked up at me without a tear in her eye. So I put that gun in her hand. Sometimes it takes a woman to end a man. The same part of me that holds her at night would bury any man that don't treat her right. I'm gonna love and live and kill and fight we actually got around 48, I'd say it was about 48, £50,000. It's actually a bit less than I was expecting, but probably about normal for normal difficulty for only 60,000 litres. I mean, next time around it should be a bit more with the oats as well, because I find that it's a better crop to grow for profit. But still, talking about profits, you can see we owe the taxman currently 9,218, and we've got until April to get that down. But if we do get it down, we're obviously not making a profit anymore. So it is what it is. We've got to pay the taxman. I get that. But yeah, total taxable income is 194, 133 for 133 for expenses. So we're definitely, making a good profit there so far. But we did sell this setup, didn't we? Had like 50,000 for the sheep barn, and then this thing was about 15,000. The shed that we had here. So if we remove all that now and then try and pick a shed. Cow shed, I might see exactly where we're at, because I actually think it's probably going to cost a bit more depending on which one we pick. Ideally, you'd want it to go in this spot, probably the feed rail facing this way, or this way, because of the electrical line is kind of faffing about in that spot over there. So let's see what we've got as an option. Can't be too. I want it to suit as well the spot that we're in. Now that is a calf barn for 60,000. We're talking decent money already, and yes, it would be good for calves. I do think this has got. I like this. Don't get me wrong, but that space is just shortened out. It's still quite small, and we want something a bit bigger, don't we? Now this would be spot on. 70,000. We've got some storage with this, and it's still a decent chunk of space. But I probably think as well at the same time, it'd be good if we had with this one, just like, not like we didn't have the base, because we don't really need them, do we? So that's an option. I mean, that's too big, unfortunately, because that would be a nice shed to put in. What's this one? This looks like a standard shed. I don't mind that one. You could drive through it and it would fit. So that could technically just go right in the centre, because we need to drive through it, so we can't push it up against the wall. So yeah, that would work as well for 82,000. We carry on with its bigger money stuff over here. So that would be a good shed as well for beef stock. In fact, that would be that would be spot on, because proper slurry spot. Do we need the back wall? I don't think we do. So we could technically, if we found a way. It's going to be, it's going to be too difficult there, unfortunately, because we need. I mean, we could remove the skip and put it there, but we're still well past that point, so we can't put that in. It's too big. We have got a lot of options, though. But to be honest, this one's alright as well. This large UK cow barn. So, what's that? 120,000. That's a lot of money. That's pretty much skimping. That's pretty much taking all our money currently. We don't want to leave ourselves short, do we? So, I'm going to have to think about this. I think currently this is the best option. 70,000 only holds 35, though, which I think for the size probably makes sense, because it's just that section. If it was double, then that would be probably the perfect setup. I don't know. I'm actually stuck. I'm going to have a look to see if there's any more cow sheds flying about the place, because we might have an option for something, but we need to make another. We need to make another cow barn, definitely, for at least for the calves. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye out for this one. I think the best thing to do is not decide now, because if we pick the wrong one, I'm just going to regret it, and I'd rather get the perfect cow shed. Ideally, I want a big cow shed that holds all the main beef stock, and that can be for calves over there. But we've got to try and make it fit, and we've got to be able to, afford it. So we'll have to have a look. So yeah, we need to find out and have a look. But on that note, I'll leave it there. Definitely something to think about. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up for me. It really does help me out. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator. See you, everybody.